Hi, I'm George Nordhaus, and welcome to Monday Morning. Live streaming video, how agencies can leverage technology. This is a tremendously important and the subject as well as this presentation. Rick Gilman is President and Chief Mobile Officer of Absolute Marketing. I'll tell you about Rick in just a minute, and I've been working with him for a long time. Well, let's look at. Let me introduce you to Rick here. Let me show you his picture and I'll tell you a little bit about him here. He is a president of this communications business, public relations consulting. I've been working with him for a while. He been 30 years in the insurance industry, in and out, trade associations and so forth, but he left all that to start this consulting practice. I'll tell you more about that in just a minute. But there is one thing I have to tell you about Rick, and I want to say that ahead of time. One of the things that Rick is most known for is his son. His son is Jared Gilman. I know this is unfair, but his son is Jared Gilman. Well, if you had seen the Kingdom, yeah, what
Moonrise
Kingdom. I couldn't think of the movie. Yeah, Jared, his son was the lead, that Boy Scout. You remember that? How's he doing, Coach?
He's doing great. He's getting ready to apply for college. He actually has a movie that's opening up on the 28th of December.
Oh my God!
He has a small cameo, but it's a wonderful movie called Paterson.
The movie's called Paterson.
He was like Paterson, New Jersey. It's about a bus driver who's played by Adam Driver, who starred in Star Wars, and his character's name is also Paterson. And he's a poet.
Oh, God, I can't wait. I'm going to deliver.
And my son has a small cameo, but it's a wonderful film.
Well, I'm glad
everybody should go out and see it.
Yeah, we should. We'll all promote it, and you're going to see Jared in there. Jared Gilman, you'll see his name. Okay, let's talk about live streamlining video. Tell us about it.
Well, first, let me thank you, George, for inviting me to be on this Monday morning with you. I really appreciate it. I've been listening to your Monday mornings for years. And I really am very passionate about this particular topic because, as you know, I'm a technology kind of guy, and anytime there's a new tool or technology that can really help insurance agents leverage I'm on it like whatever on whatever.
Yeah.
All right. The growth of this is, we all know how valuable and important imagery is. We all know where video has come in consumer expectations together. But when you add in the component about live streaming, it just adds a whole new dimension to something that is growing by leaps and bounds. I mean, look at this slide with Wayne Johnson or The Rock streaming views on, I think that one is, that looks like that's probably Periscope. You've got live, Facebook Live. You've got so many of these things. It's just an amazing tool. And what I want to talk about today is how agents and insurance companies are leveraging or can leverage this new technology in all sorts of ways.
Good. I like it. Now, I had trouble learning what live streaming even was early on. I couldn't quite figure out what it was till I read a great article that you wrote in National Underwriter. And once I did that, I got, I got a little bit of the idea. Now I really truth of the matter is, we've been using it and didn't even know what it was called, but that's okay too. Go ahead.
Right. We've been using video. Everybody knows about YouTube and Netflix and Vimeo. If you're familiar with Vimeo, is another platform for sharing videos. My son, we talked about my son at the beginning. He's taught himself how to edit and produce movies by watching videos on YouTube.
Oh, God.
So video is just enormously powerful, and there are plenty of ways to use it. But what's really exciting, this next screen, an example of how the general public is being exposed to live streaming is the Metropolitan Opera House. My wife goes to this all the time. She's an opera fan. I'm not, but
I'm
that's
not
okay.
either.
So she,
but I've seen them.
she actually goes to the opera with my best friend, and occasionally my best friend's wife, also a very good friend, and I go to the movies while they're at the opera. My wife calls him her other husband. But
oh my God! I don't think we need to go there. Keep going.
Okay. But you can see here what the Met does. Metropolitan Opera is, for a lot of their productions, they will live stream in HD quality over AMC movie theaters all over the country. So if you can't be in New York City to go to a live performance, you're actually seeing it with better seats by going to a movie theater and watching it live streaming, real time. We all know real time phrase. Live streaming is the technology way of saying real time.
Got it.
So this is a great example of something like that.
Okay.
So we've talked about how online video is everywhere, and it's the numbers, the statistics are just incredible. 87% of online marketers use video content. I don't know how many of your listeners actually use video on their website or whatever, but whatever that number is right now, I can guarantee you that in a week or a month or a year from now, it's going to be that much greater because it's only going in that direction.
I totally agree with you. Yeah. We're going to be doing it a lot more ourselves. I can promise you. Well, I have that with Monday Morning Markets. We do that, and it's live. Well, go ahead, but it's not really live streaming video, but it's the same thing. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, this last slide. 92% of mobile video consumers, those of us that watch or look at video on our phones, most of it tends to be streamed over YouTube, but they're all over the place. Share the video. So video in itself is very viral. I mean, we saw how viral video can be in this last election, and for all sorts of topics. It's just an amazingly powerful tool that can get a lot of information across with very few words.
Onward.
So, onward. So what I want to talk about is how live streaming video can really engage your audience, no matter who your audience is, whether it's your clients, whether it's prospects, the market in general, maybe it's internally and it's your staff or claims adjusters, or it could be even live streaming and engaging in dialogue with your carrier representatives. There are enormous possibilities and opportunities for that. One example that I came across that I really want to share with you, and I hope it comes across smoothly, but it's a pure example of something that I talked about in the article. And what you'll see in this video, hopefully, the short video, is an example of a veteran claims adjuster working with a field adjuster who doesn't necessarily have as much experience, but they're sharing their inspection of the damage of this car using live streaming video. So I'm going to get this started, and we'll see if it comes across enough.
There you go. I hear it. Yeah.
So he's putting on a camera and an earpiece so he can communicate with his adjuster who's back in the office.
Got it.
Hello, Val. Hey, Eric. Are you getting this? Yeah, it's working perfectly. Okay, I must have hit and run. Let's take a look.
Now here's where the really neat piece comes in.
What do you think, Eric? Show me every angle. So, what are we looking at here? Rust in his tailpipe goes through. Some of the paint is chipped from boarding, normal wear and tear. Not covered in their policy. Take pictures from those angles and write it up.
So that's an example, and I'm not familiar enough with this product to know whether or not it's the right one for you. Whatever you do as an insurance agent, talk to some experts, check things out, read up on any particular product that you might be interested in before you make a purchase. But the key is that example there allowed the veteran claims adjuster to spend a minimal amount of time with his field operative, get the expertise, and so it was efficient, inexpensive, and it accomplished exactly what they needed. And the veteran adjuster is still in his office, taking care of business, and is ready to chime in and add his expertise to however many field adjusters connect with him.
Rick, do you think that there's some adjusters using that now? I'm sure there obviously are some, but
I think it's. I certainly hope so, because whether it's again that technology or that particular company or some other, the idea of leveraging live streaming video to bring expertise to bear wherever it's needed is great. And that leads me to my next slide in terms of different ways that we can use live streaming. I mentioned the different audiences that you can share it with, but certainly training and education, communications, and I'll talk a little bit about each of these in a minute.
All right.
So when I think about live streaming, I think about the different audiences. So for customers, we always talk about how can we educate our customers. There's a local retailer here in the New Jersey area whose commercial tagline is, "An educated consumer is our best customer." I think that goes across all types of businesses, and the better we can educate our own insureds to how to, take an inventory, how to complete a notice of loss, how to, deal with different situations, as well as preparing for, we're about to get a snowstorm here in New Jersey. Imagine how great and powerful it would be for an insurance agent to do a live streaming education piece showing them exactly what he or she is doing to prepare their home or their office for an upcoming storm.
Send it out to all your all your customers, your prospects live while it's coming along. Man, oh man, what a hit that would be.
And what's great, and I'll talk about it briefly about the technologies that are out there that people know, is it's not just one way. It's not just me or the agent spewing information out. Because it's live streaming, many of the technologies or products that are there that we'll touch on in a second allow for people to chat in, to ask questions live.
Wow.
So it really becomes a two-way communications and a two-way educational experience for people. And the other piece of this technology, you're right, we've had video for a long time, and streaming video came into the lexicon, if you will, at a time when most businesses and hopefully more and more insurance agencies are thinking mobile first. So these tools like Periscope or Facebook Live that we talked about are built around being mobile. You can see here there are numerous ways to share through your website, through a particular mobile app, through social media. The one thing that's common amongst them all is that it's mobile. Here's another example. It's you know, here we are. We're sharing slides. People are hearing our conversation back and forth. So we're creating hopefully a vibrant and interesting webinar. But live streaming is so much more than just a webinar. It's, again, it goes back to engaging the audience more. How terrific. And your Monday mornings, George, have evolved over the decades that you've been doing this. And you are always right at the cusp of new technology and building that into your Monday mornings. I fully expect in a not too distant future you'll be doing your Monday mornings as live streams. But I'll leave that to you to worry about.
I hope not. This way I can edit all my stupid comments out, see? But otherwise...
Yours and mine.
Yeah, there we go.
But
all right.
The truth is we sort of painted ourselves as business owners into a corner because we trained consumers to expect this. We trained consumers to expect to build that kind of relationship with the businesses that they interact with, to be able to get information whenever they want, to be able to get answers to their questions whenever they want. So we asked the question, all right, and I said this in the article, I can see the face plants, as the young kids call it, with agents out there saying, why are you asking me to do this? I can barely keep my website and my Facebook page up to date. If I'm lucky, I can do 1 or 2 blog posts a month. How am I ever going to add this into the daily chores?
Great question. How? I don't know. How are they?
Well, the real key, I think, is in the technology. So here's just a very, very small example of some of the technologies that we've briefly talked about and that's out there. Periscope was huge. Facebook Live is, I think, even bigger because there are how many 1.5 billion or 2 billion people on Facebook.
Yeah, right.
And every single one of them has access to Facebook Live.
Right.
Twitch and YouTube Connect are some others. There are many more out there. But because the technology is there and the growth of technology, the costs have dropped. I mean, there isn't any one, Facebook Live, Periscope, they're all free. You don't have to pay for that. And part of the reason why they're so good and so popular is because they're really easy to use.
That's beautiful. I never thought of that.
You know,
Yeah.
and therefore the overall cost of entry into live streaming is low from a knowledge base, from an access base, from an equipment. If you've got a smartphone, you've got access. People don't need or expect, consumers don't expect anymore the high production value that we once demanded of any kind of video that we would see online.
Good.
Partly because the quality of the video that you shoot with your phone is far superior to what you were able to do 5 years ago. So everything is shrinking, getting better, the camera's better, the lenses are better, the functionality is better, and it's just so much easier.
Right.
And so for me, this tool is really a great way for you to take that know, like, and trust scenario that we all strive for with our clients and take it one notch more. Know, like, and trust is, you know, the triumvirate. That's how people, they go down that path. They know you, they like you, and then they trust you, and then they buy from you. Well, how can you get to that know, like, and trust level faster? And one way to do that is by leveraging a powerful two-way communication to deliver services that much quicker, to educate that much more effectively because you can take questions on the fly, to share what you as an insurance agent or agency in the community, how you are a responsible citizen of that community and what you're doing. It positions your brand in such a much more favorable light. You become much more approachable and much more personal. It's not about the brand of the ABC agency. It's about the brand of Joe Agent, the individual. And there's nothing more powerful than being able to look on your screen or on your phone and see the person, see the agent, look in their eyes, and have them hear from you. It's a very, very powerful tool to really engage people at a much deeper level than we've been able to.
I've got a question for you. How long do you think it'll be before Geico's of the world, when you call in, you won't just get that phone thing, you'll be talking to a real life person who will show you the applications, show you the prices, and you'll see it all. Streaming video. I can't imagine them not doing it right now with the money they've got. Can you?
Well, you know, you're absolutely right, and I'm going to take it a little bit different. I think where the future might lie for insurance companies is you call up, you get an artificial intelligence operator who talks to you, finds out exactly what you want, and then puts you together with a live agent or claims customer services rep who engages with you like FaceTime or live streaming through Facebook Live or whatever it might be at that point. Wow. But I think it's going to eventually start with, it's no more recordings. You're not going to call and get a recording that says, press this number to get to there and a hashtag and so forth.
Good.
We're taking it to a whole new level.
Good for you.
So,
love it. Okay.
You know, we talked about how this can work with marketing. We talked about, I think, definitely how it can work for internal training or for collaboration between the adjusters that we saw. And clearly, the stronger the know, like, and trust relationship is, the deeper that is, the greater the customer retention is.
No question.
And the key, I mentioned it before, but the real key about live streaming is the fact that it's really built for mobile. It's built to reach you and engage with you wherever and whenever you happen to be, whether it's at live at work, or you're relaxing, or you're grabbing a lunch with your colleagues, you can tap into live streaming at any point at any time.
Let me ask you.
It's becoming ubiquitous.
Oh, I agree with it. Is this why you went on into the mobile business in the last couple of years here?
Oh, yes.
That's a perfect
I
reason.
did. I build mobile apps because I know that's where, we spend about 4 hours a day on our mobile devices.
Wow.
92% of that time is in apps.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that.
So very powerful tools, great way to take advantage of the power that's built in, that Apple built into the iPhones, that Google built into the Android phones. There's so much there, and we're taking more advantage of it every day.
Wow. You're opening my eyes to something. This is open to a whole new world. I don't think agents really understand that thing. So they can talk to you. Will you answer questions when people call and give
I will definitely. I'd be glad to answer questions. Feel free to share my contact information. I look forward to helping them take advantage of this really cool tool.
Well, that really cool is right. It's unbelievable. I just can't, I can't fathom all this happening. It opens a whole new world to people, and I'm excited. I'm going to go out and get it. And incidentally, you have been taking lessons from your son. You're really getting to be a presenter. He must have told you how to make. Is that right? I'm just guessing. No, Rick.
I learned by observing.
Now I want to tell you, this is a wonderful thing. I hope you'll use it please feel free to use this on your website or anywhere if it tells a story, because I think it tells a wonderful story. I want to thank you, and I know that I would like to suggest that every agency have everybody in the agency listen to this and open their eyes, think what's going to be happening. Gosh, this is, I've been thinking, Rick, 10 years from now, we're going to look back at this and say, you remember that thing? Maybe 2 years from now, probably 1 year from now.
Yeah.
Right?
It's faster than you expect.
Oh,
definitely faster than you expect.
Well, it's a great future, and keep writing on it, will you? Why don't you write some more in the National Writer? Keep it going. Be the leader.
I will.
As you are. I don't have to encourage you, but hey, thanks again for everything, man. And for the rest of it, my pleasure. Rest of you, we'll see you again next Monday morning.